Meaning, our children, our friends, our, family. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. Wow. And it's
to all my ladies out there, this is horrible advice. This is horrible advice, and we'll get to that in a second.
It's not easy. It's a hard journey. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is so, so worth it. So
yeah, wow.
Thank you.
So let's get this straight. He wasn't cheating on her. He wasn't abusing her. He wasn't mentally abusing her. She went to a therapist and realized she needed to have more self-love. And her self-love brought her to the point where she felt like self-destructing her own freaking family. And all the women in the crowd are clapping and cheering for this BS. Now keep in mind, she's a 44-year-old woman. In my opinion, her looks are starting to fade. She ain't got but too much longer. And once she gets finished riding that carousel, by the time she's 50 years old, she'll be on side watch. God forbid.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Trippin' Ain't Easy. I am your host, Trip Simpson, in the building, ready to get this grill going today. But first and foremost, let's handle business.
I know you're gonna look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I'm not invisible. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and select all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a while ago, I did an episode on Tia Mowery on her recent divorce of her husband, Corey Hardrick. And in that video, I pointed out a couple of things that I knew to be true before this latest mess of an interview came out by her. Number one, the first interview I saw her do on that red carpet, I can't remember what the venue was or what the event was, but she was on the red carpet, and this was about 2 weeks before she announced her divorce. She kept talking about self-love. It was all about her. 2 weeks later, she gets a divorce for no apparent reason, and people called me crazy for calling her selfish. And in addition to calling me crazy, they said I didn't know what I was talking about, and I was probably just hating on her and not realizing what women go through in marriages. He was probably cheating. He was probably beating her. All these excuses that people had for her, when in reality, it was all because of her selfishness. Now, she most recently did an interview on the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna. Hoda and Jenna are the two old brides on the Today Show that's been on there forever, and they have their own little segment where they interview people. So anyway, they brought her out, and she got to talking about the reason she and Corey Hardrick got divorced. So, without wasting any more time, let's get to the videotape.
I talked to her 2 days ago.
She is, so do you all feel like you're each other's kind of North Star? Does it still feel that way?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, she's like my best friend. I feel like she's like really my life partner when it comes to life. You know what I mean? She's always just...
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
Right by my side, so I love you.
You know, there's so many, you're at an interesting stage or phase in your life, Tia, and you've spoken about this, so we're comfortable asking you about it. But you and your husband, like a lot of couples, decided that it was better to be lived, your life's better lived apart than together.
Yes.
How did you know that it was time?
Now let's stop it right here. The husband didn't agree to this. He didn't want a divorce. She did.
That's a really good question.
Take that route.
I knew when I really started to focus on my happiness. I feel like women,
Me.
and we tend to focus on everybody else's happiness, making sure that everybody else is okay, meaning our children.
Shout out to my man, Minister Jap. These bitches don't love their kids. That's a fact. Let's run that back a little bit. Watch how it's all about her. Her kids ain't even grown yet, and it's all about her. Let's go.
Else is okay, meaning our children. Meaning, our children, our friends, our, family. But at the end of the day, it's about self-love. And when you start to really work on yourself, love yourself, know your value, know your worth, and then all of a sudden there's this awakening. Wow. And it's
to all my ladies out there, this is horrible advice. And we'll get to that in a second.
It's not easy. It's a hard journey. But at the end of the day, I feel like it is so worth it. So
Yeah, wow.
thank you.
So let's get this straight. He wasn't cheating on her. He wasn't abusing her. He wasn't mentally abusing her. She went to a therapist and realized she needed to have more self-love. And her self-love brought her to the point where she felt like self-destructing her own freaking family. And all the women in the crowd are clapping and cheering for this BS. Now keep in mind, she's a 44-year-old woman. In my opinion, her looks are starting to fade. She ain't got but too much longer. And once she gets finished riding that carousel, that cock carousel, by the time she's 50 years old, she'll be on suicide watch. God forbid.
Tia, what I think, first of all, you could hear the people saying yes, and here, people at home are sitting thinking I feel this, because marriage is hard,
It takes a lot of work.
And it also takes a lot of guts to know when you need to change something.
Yes, it really does.
It takes a lot of courage to say, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of courage. Meanwhile, every day, like I showed in the last video, she's on Instagram posting videos, her husband, her kids, like everything's all happy.
Was there a moment where you knew I have to do something different?
Yes, I feel like when I started to, again, like I said, focus on myself, but there was this sadness. And I knew that life is short. I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley. And both of them at the same time, there was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you.
So fuck everybody else. Fuck my kids. Fuck my husband. Fuck my family. It's all about me, because my grandma died. This is essentially what she's saying. This is the bad advice that she's giving to modern women. And they're eating it up. Like this is some profound philosophy that she discovered. This is called being a selfish 304. And it's gonna come back to bite her in the ass. I guarantee it.
And really focusing on what really matters here, which is at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness. So
yourself. It doesn't matter that you decided to bring children into the world with this man. Doesn't matter about that, right? Break up the children's home. You couldn't even wait till they became adults before you disbanded your family. Turned yourself into a single mother on purpose. Splitting up your kids, splitting up the time between the kid's dad and you. And you think that this deal, for your happiness, because you decided to bring these kids in the world, but for your happiness, you have to sacrifice theirs. You're a selfish bitch.
So I would say that, and I was in therapy as well.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of therapy. So it was all of that, together that gave me that, aha moment.
What were you the most afraid of?
An aha moment. Fellas, this is what these bitches are cheering us on. Imagine if a dude would have said this shit. Imagine that. Imagine a man saying, man, I just got to the point where I was like, fuck him. I gotta do this for my happiness. I'd rather be out here fucking hoes than to keep my family. Like, imagine if a dude just came out and said that. He would probably, if her husband would have came out and said that's why he divorced his wife, he would never get a job in Hollywood again. But this is what you fellas got to look up to.
Of stepping in, because you're stepping in, because some people, when you say, oh, my husband and I are going our separate ways, they go, oh no, oh, that's sad. But you actually see this as
a celebration.
A celebration.
I really do. I'm a woman who really do. I look at it as one of my friends, she sent this beautiful letter to me from a woman who got a divorce. And it's all about, this perspective, in my opinion, and just changing the narrative. My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum when you're in college or high school, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're evolving, you're creating. And I was able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that's basically,
Let me get this straight. You have a successful marriage. You were able to create 2 children. They're not even teenagers yet. And and the divorce is the graduation, the celebration. You can't make this shit up. Shout out to The Godfather. You can't make this shit up.
How I'm looking at it now.
Let's go back.
And at the end of that curriculum, able to create with Corey some beautiful, amazing children. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation, there's a celebration. So that's basically, how I'm looking at it now. And I feel like people when they look at marriage, that success equals longevity. But no, at the end of the day, it's, are they happy?
These bitches just make shit up. The measure of a successful marriage is longevity. Like, I don't understand how this day and age, people just get to make up their own narrative on things. This makes entirely no sense. And fellas, do me a favor. Well, do yourself a favor. Show this interview to any woman that you're dealing with right now, and just play it. Just have it randomly play one day, and see what her reaction is. See what she says. If she doesn't call her a dumb bitch, that ain't the woman for you.
Are they thriving? Are they growing? And I feel like that is what is most important. It's not about staying in something because however long you are in that situation, that equals success. It's about really, again, are you happy? Because life is really, really short.
Yeah.
Take the blame.
I mean,
So there you have it, fellas. At the end of the day, life is short. So it's all about whatever makes you happy. To hell with the fact that you willingly brought 2 children into the world. It's still not about what makes them happy. It's about what makes you happy. So ripping their family apart for no damn reason makes you happy. But do you think it makes them happy? See, ladies, here's one thing you better understand, especially about these celebrity 304s. These celebrity 304s, okay? She's already a millionaire. So she can afford to fuck her life up in her mid-40s and still not end up in a homeless shelter in the next 20 to 30 years. She can still travel the world and ball out however she wants, and she doesn't need a man to do it. However, and for black women specifically, just remember, the average black woman makes $37,000 a year. 1 out of 4 black women are on some type of psych med. %80 of black women are unmarried and never will be. You are the only group in the world who eats this strong, independent woman shit up. The rest of the women in the world are with their men. The rest of them are with their men because they realize that men bring other things to the table besides just kissing your ass and making you happy all goddamn day. There's other elements to life than just walking around allegedly happy. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, if you agree, disagree, or you're indifferent, do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section below. Once again, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and select all. For myself and the rest of the staff here at Trippin' Ain't Easy, peace out.